Conducted in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of this meeting has been provided by advertisement in the Cape May Star and Wade, the Township website, and has been posted on the bulletin board of Township Hall.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Conrad. Here. Councilmember Neville.
Here.
Councilmember Douglas.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Clark.
Here.
Mayor Beck.
Here. Now, I know you didn't all come down here to look at us. There must be a special reason why we're in here tonight. In a place for the people watching this on tape, this room is as crowded as it's ever been. I would like to take just a second to acknowledge the presence of Prosecutor Bob Taylor and Chief of Detectives Ken Super, as well as a host of chiefs of police from the various towns throughout Cape May County. And we are thrilled to see all of you here. You know, you don't get many nights that are as joyous as this one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 officers moving up in rank. We have one new one. I'm going to ask council to come down and we're going to conduct a ceremony, and we're going to swear in these fine folk. We appreciate everything that they do and all the officers in this town do for us. I know every mayor and council would say this, but we believe we have the best police department around. We have a lot of reasons to feel that way. And it's a great evening, and we're not going to hold it up here. So if council would slide down, I'll come down and join you. Officer Caitlin Black.
Caitlin, if you please come forward. Caitlin Black, mother's here tonight, Colleen Black, and she's going to be holding the Bible as the Honorable Mayor Mike Beck administers the oath. Step up front there.
Yes. Well, their name and there's yeah.
This is our second female police officer that just graduated. We're very proud of you, Caitlin.
Raise your right hand. Okay. Face the nice people out there. Repeat after me. I, Caitlin Black,
I, Caitlin Black,
swear that I will support
swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States and in this state,
in the United States and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform
all
the duties of the office of police officer for the Township of Lower, according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Patrolman Robert Smith, please come forward to pin the badge over the new officer.
Chip, here's a silver, the rest of them are gold.
No.
Well, you'll be getting a gold one, I'm sure. It just takes a little time. Very good.
All right, thank
Turn around
you.
everybody to take a picture. Have you been on the street yet?
Yes, sir.
Okay, one night, right? 2 nights? 2 days.
Don't ask her about her first 20 minutes.
I heard the crime rate went right down.
Thank you.
Surrender is that
Next is Sergeant Donald Vanneman. The Bible will be held by April Vanneman. Please come forward.
Donald Bannerman,
I, Donald Bannerman,
swear that I will support
swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States and in this state,
in the United States and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office
all the duties of the office
of Sergeant
of Sergeant
of the Police Department for the Township of Lower,
for the Police Department of the Township of Lower,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Chief Mastriani will now pin the badge on the new sergeant. Thank you. Lieutenant Patrick Green, please step forward. The Bible will be held by Father-in-law Bill Leon and Mother Grace Green. And daughter and son, Aaron and Evan.
Okay, got that? There you go. Repeat after me. I, Patrick Green,
I, Patrick Green,
swear that I will support
swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office
all the duties of the office
of Lieutenant
of Lieutenant
of the Police Department for the Township of Lower,
of the Police Department for the Township of Lower,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. And notice says that right around it was the thing that put you over the top.
Deal breaker.
My deputy mayor did a ride around with Lieutenant Green one night. You may have heard of the deputy quick draw bar here now.
Thank you.
We're going to get a little forward.
As we move along now, it's my honor to present Captain Thomas Beebe. Come forward, Captain. The Bible's going to be held by his family, Katrina, daughter and son, Heather, Tommy. The pinning will be done by his father, Thomas Beebe.
I, Thomas Beebe,
I, Thomas Beebe,
swear that I will support
I swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office
all the duties of the office
of Captain Police Department for the Township of Lower,
of the Police Department of the Township of Lower,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mayor.
Now it's my distinct honor and pleasure to present to you our new Chief of Police, William Mastriana. Holding the Bible will be his family, son and daughter Dylan and Kylie, and his wife Kimberly. And Kimberly will be pinning the badge on the new chief.
I, William Mastriano,
William Mastriano,
swear that I will support
swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office
all the duties of the office
of Chief of Police
of Chief of Police
for the Township of Lower,
for the Township of Lower,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Very hot in here. First, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I would like to thank Mayor, Council, and the manager for the opportunity to lead one of the finest police departments in the county. It's truly an honor. Next, I would like to thank all the past police chiefs I had an opportunity to work with. My being selected for this position sends a powerful message to the newest officer and the most experienced police professional that you can aspire to lead an organization. A little background, I started as a patrolman in '93, was promoted to sergeant in 2003, lieutenant 2006, captain in 2011. I also had an opportunity from 2006 to 2011 to assist in the command of the Cape May County Regional SWAT Team for approximately 5 years. Over those years, I was able to form partnerships with the county as well as municipal, state, and federal agencies. I am very gratified to see many of those agencies here today. I thank you for your support and look forward to working with each and every one of you to develop our best practices for this county. During my career, it was a pleasure to watch the men and women of Lower Township Police Department grow into the officers they are today. I feel our officers are better educated, better trained, and more skilled. Your health, safety, and your professional development are vitally important to me, and I am committed to always remembering that the patrol officers of this department are the backbone of the agency, and a lot of our future success will be because of you. I will recognize your good work, and I will do everything in my power so that you can reach your goals. I believe the best ideas come from the ones closest to the work. I want each of you to feel proud of what you do. I want you to look in the mirror each day and say, what I did today mattered. I expect everyone to know our mission and why we're here. I want you to earn the citizens of Lower Township's respect. I want you to be respectful. That means that every encounter, every employee, every day, even the people you don't like or disagree with, I want everyone to understand that we will be responsive and accountable. I want you to know your areas of responsibility, its problems, its people, and have a plan to deal with it. That is our commitment. We will focus on crime and safety of our citizens. I believe in the philosophies of community policing. We are committed to its practices. I am sure over my tenure as chief, there will be many challenges and decisions that will have to be made. I assure you that I will make the choices necessary with the best interests of the township and the agency in mind. I am looking forward to working with the mayor and council and every member of this police agency. I believe with a cooperative effort, this agency will achieve great strides. I am also looking forward to working with the citizens of Lower Townships as true partnership in public safety, and plan on maintaining all the cultures and traditions of the Lower Township Police Department, and develop our future leaders so that our officers have the skills needed to perform the jobs the best way possible. I'd also like to thank my wife, Kimberly, and my two children, Dylan and Kylie, who have supported me over the last 20 years of my career. Each day when I put on the uniform, I can't help but to think the work of the men and women of this department do, and I can't thank them enough. I'd like to thank everyone for coming here today, and as I stated in the beginning, it's a true honor for me to be chosen for this position. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out. We're going to have a 5-minute recess. Thank you, officers, for coming.
Whatever you put it on. Okay. We're moving down, no work session. We go down to the consent agenda. Does anybody have any comments or questions in reference to the consent agenda, council? Everybody fine? We open it up to public comments on the consent agenda. Anybody wishes to address council? Close the public portion. Go ahead.
Approval of the minutes, June 17, 2013. Resolution number 2013-187 through 2013-198.
Do I have a motion to approve in a second for the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Douglas?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes. We move, go ahead, down to regular agenda.
Resolution number 2013-199, appointment to the Recreation Advisory Board.
I would like to make a recommendation for Luke Geegan to be an alternate member of the Recreation Advisory Board. As I brought forward before, I'd like to see some younger people be on the Recreation Board. They give a little bit of the inside information we need maybe to help us with what the kids really want in the community, and I think it would be a great opportunity for someone of the school. Luke has been very active in being at our meetings and been very active in the township, doing a lot through his different activities with martial arts. He's been the recipient of Lower Townships Rotary first ever Spotlight Student Award. He's volunteered for the County Board of Elections during elections. He's been active in sports, and I think he'd be an excellent alternate member to the Rec Advisory Board.
I'll second that, and the only thing Councilman Douglas forgot was his excellent acting ability too in all the plays.
Well, I'll vote for him as long as he doesn't run for mayor. So I'm looking at his resume and it's like, well, slow down here, son. I think it makes sense from the standpoint that when you look at recreation, who uses recreation? I mean, who goes into our buildings, who actually plays on sport teams, but the younger people. I think it makes sense to put a young guy and a young lady at some point, and hopefully we'll move in. Tom has spoken about that to me a few times, and I think
The mayor's idea, when we were talking, is to actually change the ordinance for the Rec Advisory Board to solidify that there is youth members on it, one male, one female. We need their input. And the mayor's been highly supportive, and Luke, good job. Congratulations. I think you got this vote.
All right, go vote.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Douglas?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Maybe Luke wants to stand up just to wave so everybody sees the young man. There he is.
We'll get you up in a minute. You can say something at the mic if you want. We have to move down. Wants to give a speech already. Yes. Go ahead.
Ordinance number 2013-13, an ordinance amending the property maintenance code of the Township of Lower. This is section 302.4, it's regarding weeds. This is the second reading and public hearing. This ordinance has been made available to the public and has been advertised.
Okay, any council comments on this ordinance? Move it up for public comment, second reading. Okay, close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve in a second?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Douglas?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Ordinance 2013-14, an ordinance amending Chapter 185 of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Lower. This ordinance means that there will be no notice prior to summons for property compliance. This is also the second reading and the public hearing. This ordinance has been made available to the public.
Is there any council comments on this ordinance? I'd open up for public comment on this ordinance. Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve in a second?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Douglas?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Ordinance 2013-15, an ordinance amending the property maintenance code of the Township of Lower. This also means no notice prior to summons for the property compliance. This is the second reading and public hearing for this ordinance. This ordinance has been posted and made available to the public.
Okay, any council comments on this ordinance? Any public comments on this ordinance? Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve in a second?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Douglas?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes. Move down to administrative reports. Do we have any comments or questions on the administrative reports? Okay, move down to council comments. Councilman Conrad.
Keep it light tonight. Hope everyone's having a good summer. Hope everything's moving forward. Weather's a little crazy, but hopefully in 2 nights it's going to be a beautiful night.
2 nights will be fireworks.
I want it to be a beautiful night.
Well, it's my birthday too. That's why they have fireworks every day. There you go. And I will say, Saturday we had a nice Lower Township kayak fun race on the Wooders right in front of North Cape May and Town Bank. And I think the mayor, he's going to make a council cup. That way he can give it to me.
He cheated.
I've seen both of you guys take off, and I don't know who got to the other end first, but, we'll leave that up to you guys.
I have a lot to say about that. I'll keep it.
It was a nice day there also. There was a large crowd that came out for the kayak race, and it was, a morning that looked like it was going to be canceled, but then it came out beautiful, and, the fireworks is coming up, and then Saturday we have Well of the Day program at Town Bank, and I think that's another event that's going to be beautiful. So hopefully our weather's going to stay with us.
Lower Township has a lot of friends. We set up the Friends program to support the recreational activities of our community, and it wasn't very hard to find a lot of friends that would underwrite our programs. The fishing community got behind the recreational programs. Jeff Reichel, Danny Cohen, and Keith Lodeman, all part of the fishing community. Each of those companies gave $2,500. And then they were joined with the grocery department in Geisis Market for another $2,500 as gold sponsors of our recreational program. So we're going to be thanking these folks all year, so get used to it, but they deserve a lot of thanks. We're going to be sending out an automated call this Wednesday to let everybody know about the fireworks that these folks made possible, and we're going to be thanking them then. We've also got silver sponsors. So Ed Henry over there at Harpoon Henry's, and we have Kindle Ford. We have the Saltwater Cafe. It's a new restaurant at South Jersey Marina, and I'm going to be thanked.
We just got a $2,500 check today from the Burn Agency.
And thank you very much. The Burn Agency also came through as a gold. That means 5 gold sponsors that came through for us. So we're going to be thanking them all year. That's what we're going to do. But thanks to them, those fireworks are going to be extra special this year. That's all.
Very good. Appreciate that kind of support, that's for sure. Okay, so we got the fireworks now. Everybody's going, right? That's Wednesday, July 3rd. Rain date, we're not going to need it, but it is Friday. And there's a lot going on beginning at 5 p.m. And fireworks starting about 9 o'clock. You can come down and probably see all your council people there, and Norris Clark will handle any complaints you might have. We'll set up a booth down there for resident complaints. We have that. We have Colleen Crippen asked me to keep banging the drum on the 15-minute child break that we talked about at the last meeting. Now, it's not till August 15th at 6 o'clock, but I'm going to read this out at every meeting until we get up there because it's so important. Join the 15-minute child break parent presentation and spend an hour learning how to talk to your kids about drugs and alcohol. I wish we could make it mandatory for all parents in this town to come to something like this. I think it's such an important issue, but you're going to hear about it until it's coming out of your ears at every council meeting. Okay, so moving on. You saw a bunch of people take an oath tonight to protect this town. And this council also takes that same kind of an oath. And I'm about to begin to do that right here and now. I am really reluctant to sit here and talk about another town, but I'm talking about not its residents, but about the council in Cape May City. And I'm going to spend some time here, and I'm going to do this very slowly and deliberately. I want it understood that if I say Cape May from here on out, I mean the council. If I say the residents of Cape May, I mean the residents. But as we're speaking and as we're sitting here now, I've spoken to most of the members on council, I think, rather extensively. And I intend to sit here tonight and to lay out our case that we feel that we're being unfairly treated in a variety of ways by the council in Cape May. We've been patient. We have, I think that, like Popeye used to say, that's all I can stand, so I can't stand no more. I think this headline with the paper where the regional district dissolution could cost lower $5.5 million. First of all, I think that's a low figure. If it went forward, I think it would be much higher than it would cost this town. It would kill our town. I cannot think of an issue that, you always hear exaggerations, this is important to our people and stuff like that. This is huge. And I have 2 goals tonight. And one is that basically, I want to send a clear message, and I think council does too, to everybody who has any involvement in this issue, that we will fight, and we will fight, and we will fight. We are not going to allow our people to have their taxes raised $400, $500, $600, $7 per household. We'll get more to that in a minute. But that message has to go loud and clear. We have kept our powder dry. We have kept our powder dry. And the second reason I want to speak out tonight is to correct what I call absolutely deceptive and inflammatory information that's being generated by a couple of the council people in Cape May. My question to all the council members over in Cape May is, well, what are you doing? What is it that you're trying to do? I think that, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say unintentionally, you are doing things in Cape May at your council level that are hurting our people. Some of them, we've cut off at the pass, but they're all, each one of the issues to me, I just sit back and I say, well, we wouldn't do that to them. And we're going to begin now, and I'm going to say that if you go back for the past year and a half, there have been numerous articles about Cape May's attempt to change the school funding formula. Find an article where we have any quotes from Lower Township officials inside of there. Now, it's not only this issue, but two other issues that I intend to talk about tonight. Not one Cape May official has reached out to any Lower Township official to talk in the background and say, well, we have this problem, what do you think? We've heard nothing from them. Why did we not speak out before this? My analogy is it's like the cold that won't go away. You keep hoping the next day it'll get better. It's the knee that bothers you, and you just keep limping and you say, I really don't want to go to the doctors. I've spent a year listening to this talk coming out of the Cape May Council, one or two people. Again, it's not all of them. I think most of them have their hearts in the right direction. But I've spent a year listening to this and just zipped it because I didn't want to throw gas on the fire. But what's happened over the past couple of weeks has just ratcheted the whole scenario up. Now I challenge the news media because in this year and a half, find me an article where Lower Township rebuts anything. Find me an article where we have a quote in there. I would like to have my words printed the same way in the next edition of your paper. I would like to have all of council's words in relationship to this article printed the same way. We didn't play ping pong with them. They've had the table. They have gone about their business. I feel like the guy who was run over by a car, the victim of a car accident, and every day I read an interview of the driver. I mean, the bottom line is we're the people that are going to end up having to pay this. And yet it just keeps going, going, and going. And so what happens now? Cape May tomorrow night's going to have a vote, and they're going to spend more money. And we need to talk about the concept of what regional is. Do they understand? Is there anybody who really realizes that if they succeeded and this occurred, what it would do to this town? And this is a low figure. It doesn't add in other towns that are involved that would be tapped on to the top of this. It doesn't involve the property itself, which is an issue. You're not talking $5.5 million. You're probably talking closer to $10 million. You would bankrupt this town. Does anybody think that if you damage the school, you hurt these school kids, that you're not hurting this town? If you cause damage to this town, to this regional school, you are going to hurt Cape May. I'm going to go through this step by step here, and we're going to talk about this. But I think that what's happening over there is very short-sighted. I think they need to pull back and think about what they're doing. We've tried to be regional. We've tried to deal with this. So what has gotten me angry? If you take a look at some of the newspaper articles over the last year and a half, you'll see items that says that Lower Township is charging, and bear with me, I got papers from one end of this world to the other, that the cost of sending a student from Cape May is $41,000, $72,000, $80,000, and now we get to this. Here's another article, and it's not the people at the newspapers, it's the people that are saying these things. This is deceptive and inflammatory because it's incorrect. This would imply that if the city now pays $101,000 per student to go to the Lower Cape May Regional, that would imply if they got 10 more students that they would owe $1 million, and that's absolutely not correct. If 50 or 100 more students moved into that town, their assessment wouldn't go up a nickel. What's happening here, in my analogy that I use, is the fact that suppose you got a season pass at Maury's for the water slides, and you go one time the whole summer and you spend $450 for that water slide season pass. Is it fair to turn around and go back and say, Maury charged me $450 to use the water slide one time? And the answer is absolutely not. And where's the unfairness in what they're saying here? The unfairness is, if you go back, and, you know, we need to, you know, take a look at this. They cashed out, is what happened. If you go back into let me get my papers here. At one point in time, 1971, they had about 250 students, and we had 821 students. In that intervening time, up to now, we have increased about 75% students to like roughly 1,400. Well, they have lost about 75%. So they're now down to 65. They're not using the water slide, in other words. So their cost per student looks like it's a huge amount. But my question is, if they had tripled their number of students in the intervening years, would they be patting each other on the back and saying, congratulations, what a bargain we have? If they had increased by the same amount of students over that time frame that we have, they would have roughly about 437 students right now. And the cost to them would then be about $14,000. But they didn't. Their property values are about $600 and some thousand. It's hard for a family to live there. What happened? The Pied Piper came to Cape May City and took their kids away. And his name was increased property values. A lot of those kids came here to this town. So their answer, as the economy grows bad, and as the economic ice flow starts to shrink, and we're scraping to try and balance budgets, they're going to throw us off the ice flow. And not without a fight, not on our watch. Instead, we, as a regional imperative, we want to increase the ice flow. We want to find other ice and bring it over there. We understand regional. I just was so excited a couple of weeks ago talking about the triathlon and mentioned the fact that many people went to Cape May to shop. I was thrilled that that was occurring. We're trying to be regional players, to be regional partners. What's the point of what I'm saying here? I'm saying that the numbers they're giving out, and I can only do a certain amount. I got tons of numbers, but they're going to be given to the lawyer that we eventually are going to have to hire if they keep going. I'm only giving so much information out, but what they're doing is absolutely wrong. You know, they were just bragging back at budget time that 48% of their budget was paid with revenue. Our budget is like 80-some% taxes. We don't have that kind of revenue. You know, they have beach fees, they have meters. And who do you think gets the beach tax? Who do you think puts the precious quarters into their precious meters? And who do you think keeps some of their businesses afloat in the wintertime when there's people not down here? You know, and I mean, we're trying to be regional and to look at this, but let me show you the things that make me angry. And I am angry, and thanks to council calming me down a little bit, I'm not yelling into the, aren't I being nice? Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Take it to the bank. I'm upset about this, and everybody, all 23,000 people in this town should be upset. Yes, we shop over there, and yes, we work over there. So what was the initiative a year ago that was pushed by a member of council for a resolution at the League of Municipalities to eliminate unemployment for seasonal workers in New Jersey? Now, let me ask a quick question. Where do you think the seasonal workers that work in Cape May, where do you think they live? Here. Okay, you eliminate that in a county that has 13% unemployment. For a town where over 50% of our students get free food for breakfast, you will kill our people. What were you thinking? Now, when did I find out about that? To show you dialogue? When I picked up the Atlantic City Press. Within a few minutes, I had called the League of Municipalities and said, I will testify against that. To his credit, Bill Hennepy, I saw the article, he came out against it. One author said the mayors, it was more than one was Cape May, they're full of seaweed in pushing this thing. The money they get, I've been told $16,000 is what it's the cost for their unemployment insurance for seasonal workers. And they get $2 million, it was in the paper last month, or last week, for beach fees, for beach tax. Come on, guys. Did you ever think that that would hurt us? You know, we come over there, we clean your rooms, we clean your pools, we police your town, and we shop there. And in return, arbitrarily, on your own, you're going to suggest that they do away with unemployment insurance, knowing it would kill some of our people. When did we find these things out? When we read about them in the paper. Let's go one more issue. To show you that thing I talked about at the top, that intentionally or unintentionally they do things. We filed for a water allocation permit. You know, we had people drinking water in Town Bank that frankly is cancerous. There's carcinogens in the water. We fought for years to get that water allocation permit. They show up at the hearing up in the county in December and oppose it. You know, their well, do you know where their well's located? In our town. Our town. And they oppose us getting more water. Come on. You know, we're trying to be cooperative. I have a lot of respect for some of the council members. Some I don't know. I just read about what they're saying in the paper. And I think that this article here, that guy needs to be talked to. He needs to be spoken to. And I'll send a couple of you over to talk. But at the same time, what I'm trying to say is, do you see this? We're gun shy right now. And you know, they're going to turn around. Let me talk about the impact that you put your fingers on our people and you put your fingers on our school system, our regional school system, and the damage that you can do. You take $6-8 million out of that budget over there, you will horribly and irrevocably damage that school. You lay that kind of money on the backs of our people, and you will find people that cannot afford to live here. We don't have, I've been in a couple of homes that are worth $600 and some thousand. I've never owned one. But we don't have that kind of money. And you're going to sit here and bang the drum now to force us to dissolve the school district so that you can balance and collect more money for a town where 2/3 of the tax bills are mailed outside the town. You know, these are your neighbors, we're your cousins. You formed out of our town. You know, we're trying to be regional, but when you touch our schools, and down the road, what happens when somebody can't afford to have that summer rental or that summer home down here? What are they going to do? They're going to rent it out. And what's going to happen? You're going to have a couple come with 3 kids. So now we get a school bill of $40,000, $50,000. It becomes a spiral. And as that happens, and as we go down, who do you think is going down with us? You know, if the school starts, the air comes out of the school, you don't fund it properly. We are so proud of our school system. I think it's as good as you can possibly get. You know, did any of them buy their homes and not know that they were buying into this funding situation? I mean, it's been this way since 1970. How many people that are living over there didn't know that they would be paying this share? The only difference is that their kids left town. It's hard to find a starter home when your average price is $600 and some odd thousand per home. You're not going to get kids to move into that. Oh, we can talk about them getting money from the Coast Guard. There's a lot more that we can talk about here. All right? But I choose to pull it back in, and I'm going to challenge them to start acting regionally. Start acting responsibly. When it comes to the education of the kids, it is a regional obligation Their workforce is in that school system. They need to stop and say to themselves, like I said in the beginning, what are we doing? What are you trying to do to the people of Lower Township? I love the people of Cape May. I worked over there. I was in the school system over there for 3 years. They're great people. I don't have any issues with the people of Cape May. I have issues with the council people over there. And I love the people of Lower Township, as everybody on this council does, and I swore an oath to protect them. I've kept my mouth shut for 1.5 years, and now I'm going to explode. I am angry about this, and everybody in this town should be just as angry. They can destroy this town economically. Well, let me tell you something. Here's my message to them. This is my message. You know, we'll match you lawyer for lawyer. We'll match you article for article. And we'll match your deception and your half-truths with the total truth. We are not letting this issue, and the reason I'm saying this is we need to take this. If we don't say something, people in the system are going to begin to believe that we don't care. No, we were being gentlemen about it. We decided that it wasn't proper for us to air this out in the open and to go head-to-head with another town. I've never done this, and going head-to-head with another town council. And it's with deep reluctance that I do that. It's been 1.5 years, I counted, since the first article came out about this, and nobody has printed an article that I'm aware of that has any comments from us in it. I only ask the same measure. Print our words. Let our people get this to chew on without having the half distorted numbers coming out, being thrown at them. I can't tell you how many people said to me that they were upset that we were charging Cape May $101,000 per kid. I said, it's not, after I explained to them and I gave them the analogy about the water slides, they got it. Right then they said, you gotta be kidding. Not our fault. Their problem, no kids, is of their doing, not ours. This regional school is exactly that, to train the future workforce of this area, all the kids. And I'm sure a lot of the kids in that school ultimately were from Cape May and were driven out by property values. I'll end it with the same way I began. I'm going to ask the same question. What are you trying to do? And they need to answer that, because we'll be there and we'll be waiting for an answer. And remember, not once in any of the issues I've talked about have I received a phone call from anybody on that council. Council, I've kept it low-key. I promised I would.
My low key is I support you 100% on this matter.
Thank you.
We're behind you.
Absolutely, I'm 100% behind you. And I think there are people should be right there with you.
Mayor, I think you've been holding back a little bit here tonight. I'd like to say something to the council members in the city of Cape May. When this country was formed, it was based on the principle that we should pursue life, liberty, and happiness. You can't have any of those things without education. The founders of this country understood the principle that education gives us life. Without education, we can't sustain life, and without education, we cannot sustain liberty, and without education, we cannot sustain any of the happiness and the good things of life. And the principle of our Constitution of this state is that everybody puts into the educational system. And that obligation and privilege that we have to sustain, to support education makes us all better off. That's why it's a privilege. It's also an obligation. And it's an obligation that doesn't end when you leave the city of Cape May and come into Lower Township. It doesn't end when you stop having kids. It doesn't end if you have no kids. My wife and I do not have kids. That doesn't mean we don't have an obligation to support education. And so what's happening, I think, is that you have an attorney coming to the city of Cape May and whispering into their ear, you know, you've got a bad deal here. It's kind of like the attorney whispering into a marriage union, maybe I can get you a better deal if you get a divorce. And that's just not right. Because when you whisper those things into the ears of people, it breaks the bonds of society. It breaks the foundation of our civilization, which is that we take care of each other. Can you imagine if the West Coast was attacked by somebody when we sit here on the East Coast and say, you know what, they need to pay more? We pay less because we're not the ones attacked? You would never imagine that. And we don't take that attitude when it comes to the education of our children. We are all better off because of our educational system. We all have an obligation, no matter what our position, to provide for the common education of our children. It makes the world a better place. And so I just ask the city of Cape May to remember that founding principle and to remember that they have an obligation. It's more than a regional obligation. It is a statewide obligation. It is the foundation of what we are as a society. And let's not whisper into the ears of people and say divorce might be a good idea. Dissolution might be a good idea of the bonds that bring us together. Because you know what? Whenever you have a divorce, whenever you dissolve those bonds, the kids are going to be worse off.
I mean, the ball will be in their court tomorrow night. That we're not coming off of this. I mean, not on our watch. It's as simple as that. But I just don't understand it. With that, I will open it up to public comment on this issue. Mr. Fred Long was halfway up the aisle. I would like to hear what he has to say. And then Steve.
Thank you. Fred Long, Cold Spring. I want to thank the mayor and council for bringing this issue up. The issue of paying for the education of our children. New Jersey's been grappling with this problem since 1875. It's a contentious issue. It's affected the political careers of many prominent figures, including 2 governors. Since the original school district law in 1931, the methods of apportioning expenses in these districts, that is regional school districts, have changed many times. Since 1993, regional districts, by referendum approved by the voters of each municipality, are permitted to modify the apportionment method, which the state established in 1975 as a tax being based on assessed valuation of property. For more than 50 years, that's 50 years, Lower Township, Cape May, West Cape May, and Cape May Point, working together through a regional district, have provided the education for the children from ages 7 to 12 in Lower Cape May Regional School District. For more than 35 of those 50 years, that education has been paid for in part by taxes levied according to state law on assessed valuation of property. When assessed valuation rises, it becomes increasingly difficult for families with modest incomes to afford to live in an affluent community, and they and their children leave, as the mayor has eloquently said. With fewer children in that community to educate, the community begins to whine. Community residents see no need for school taxes. Nationally, this seems to be an affliction of rich people and wealthy communities, and is exemplified locally by Cape May Council's attitude toward opting out of paying for the region's educational needs simply because their number of students is approaching 0. Now, we're talking about children in this discussion. Your children, my grandchildren, and the children to come beyond them. All the children of our regional community. They are our future, as Mr. Clark eloquently just said. When I had the opportunity to serve as a long-term substitute in Lower Cape May Regional High School. I saw from the inside what a good school that is. We have a fine 7 to 12 regional district serving our children as well as our region, and we should keep it that way. I'm completely opposed to the current effort by the Council of the City of Cape May to change the current state funding law for regional school districts. And I request and support a council resolution from Lower Township's stating Lower Township's opposition to such change, with distribution of that resolution to all interested parties in the state.
That's a crackerjack idea. I think that's something I would recommend to council that at the next meeting, myself and if anybody else, maybe Norris and the solicitor, we can craft something and have it available for the next council meeting. Thank you for suggesting that, Fred.
I know some of you are aware that I've done extensive work on this particular issue over the years. Cape May's population is a major factor here. Their population at the end of 2010 was exactly the same number as 1950. They have been decreasing in population since 1980 at an alarming rate, and ours have been increasing immensely. I don't know one family with children, working family with children, who can't afford to buy a place to live in Cape May. One of the major factors that was just hit upon is the cost. The major mission is the cost per assessed value. Our cost per assessed value is $1,600 per 100,000. Theirs is but a fraction of that. And their per capita income, where ours is $20,000, just for the residents themselves, is nearly double that amount, not including the majority of people who own property there but don't live there, because they have a heck of a lot of additional money. I have this pretty well spelled out because I did work with the county department on making sure we had the exact figures relative to what we're paying to the school districts and what have you. I'll be glad to give you the whole book.
We need it. I mean, we hope that maybe at the end of this, they recognize and maybe they pull back and they take a look at this, and they delay this and they talk about it a little more and they think about it. If they don't, we'll be there to meet them. I mean, and we'll need all the ammo that we can get our hands on, and we'll be back. But Steve, just for the record, would you state your name?
Sure, Stephen Schatz.
Okay, so we have that in.
Mike, if I may just add.
Go ahead, Steve.
There are seniors on fixed incomes.
Got you.
That have been forced also into Lower Township.
Got you.
And because their income is so low, okay? So nothing was said about assessed value. Taxes based on assessed value, but theirs is but a fraction of ours. They should be made to pay. Just because they have a bunch of outsiders owning property there should not exempt them from paying their just dues. Thank you.
I agree. I mean, I just am amazed by it, how short-sighted it is. Do they think that if they lay this tax burden on these people, that it won't impact them at some point? I mean, how many of their businesses stay afloat in the wintertime thanks to our residents? I mean, if I don't have the money, you take $1,000 or something more out of me in taxes, I mean, I don't have expendable money like that. It's got to come out of the things I spend doing that. Going over there to eat dinner, going to the t-shirt places over there, whatever. And Anybody else wish to address council about any issue? Okay, we'll close the public portion. What is it? Mr. Luke?
Now's a good time to shut this off.
Look, he's funny too.
Luke Egan, North Cape May. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Aside from that, the first words out of my mouth tonight should be thank you. You know, if I have the opportunity to serve the place I've lived for the past 17 years and to better myself in the process of that, you can bet anything you want, I won't be turning that up. What I've been looking for is a way to sort of gain more involvement in my community. And, you know, whether it be through a small window, but what the five of you basically did tonight is you basically opened up the front door for me, and I appreciate that. Thank you to specifically Councilman Douglas for nominating me, and Mayor Beck for your support and encouragement, and the rest of you. As you had touched on, the majority of the participants in the various recreational programs are the youth. And I think it was a wise decision, and I'm very grateful for to be on the board. Thank you very much.
You just proved it was a wise decision. Thank you. Anybody else wish to address council? Okay, close the public portion.
Resolution number 2013-200, a resolution providing for a meeting not open to the public in accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-12. This is regarding possible litigation and tax issues.
Make a motion to go to closed session.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Douglas?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck? Yes.